followed by, and as a direct result of the north march of Egaelki the Liberator and his exiles, a time period known as the Glassen Age began within Achotha and Horjon. This age would last for 400 years up until the end of Achotha civilization. The Glassen Age was a time of unparalleled technological and architectural wonders that have not been repeated, cannot be replicated, and whose wonders and ruins still linger as rare ancient artifacts even after centuries. By the time of the North March, the tribe of Kahu integrated successfully with the Achotha settlers from the Solaspra, modernizing the culture to the standards of the time and allowing them to create a successful although minor monarchy, the city of Achthini, and the first and only sophisticated civilization in the Uyezhuina for centuries up until the modernization of Bethal. Kahu adopted many things from the Achotha settlers, but local culture from the Uyezhuina still influenced Kahu substantially, such as their local religions, cultures, geography, and materials. Due to Kahu's similar faith in the cult of Onimu, having ties to Achotha settlers, and their proximity to Achotha and Horjon, Kahu was the only nation in the world who had a relationship in any degree of contact with Achotha and Horjon. The people of Kahu looked to Achotha for religious guidance and resources, while Achotha looked to Kahu for scarce goods, especially those only found in Kahu. All of this diplomacy was done on boats on the Achowart River, specifically by the nobility and priesthood, as individuals were still not allowed to come and go from Achotha, even if allied. This diplomatic and trade agreement allowed Kahu to grow considerably over time, becoming a major power in the region. The start of the Glassen Age began with the Uengieren trees, a unique tree native to the western Uyezhuina that produces a hard, orange-colored amber. This unique amber, when combined with various other ingredients, became a sleek, smooth material that was strong enough to be used as a replacement for copper, though it was expensive to produce, was relatively rare, and only commonly used within the western parts of the Uyezhuina. The people in Kahu became infatuated with these amber goods, since they rarely saw the material before, and they originally mistook it for glass. The king of Kahu, King Achotha Achotha, also originally believed it was glass, not amber, and he believed that if glass, a widely available and relatively easy to produce material, could be used as a substitute for metal, it would give his kingdom a massive advantage. Even after learning the truth of the materials coming from the Uengieren trees, King Achotha Achotha attempted to recreate the amber, which failed. The Uengieren trees weren't native to the lands owned by Kahu, and the tribes that knew how to use the amber were too distant to reliably travel to. Instead, King Achotha Achotha decided to pursue his original thought, to create a new form of glass instead. King Achotha Achotha began offering exorbitant rewards for anybody who could uncover quicker, cheaper, more reliable ways to make glass, and how to create glass that had the correct properties needed to replace metal. King Achotha Achotha also gathered his smartest citizens and made calls across his sphere of influence in the Uyezhuina for people who could come together to pursue this endeavor further. Anything and everything was attempted. New melting and cooling techniques were attempted, random concoctions of materials like sand, ash, bone meal, volcanic ash, ground rocks of varying types, salt, dirt, and more were all thrown together in varying quantities, and whole new processes were invented. Although King Achotha Achotha didn't quite achieve his goal of making glass good enough to replace metal, at least not directly and not in his lifetime, under his lead, the Kingdom of Kahu made major strides in glass making, allowing them to at least replace ceramics and to mass-produce glass in large glassworks. Kahu became renowned for creating glass containers, jewelry, mosaics, windows, primitive lenses, and even glass bricks as a common and cheap building material. Glass became Kahu's pride and #1 export, a development that was not ignored by neighboring Achotha. Achotha learned of the secrets of Kahu glassmaking, and they too began building glassworks and mass-producing glass products to rival and emulate them. Achotha also shared Kahu's ambition of inventing a form of glass that could be used as a replacement for metal, and a cultural frenzy swept through Achotha to be the first to uncover the perfect form of glass. It took many years, but finally in the year of 429, an Achotha glassworker named Umarango made a breakthrough and created a form of glass that was strong enough to be used as a replacement for metal. It was named Algonquin glass in the name of King Achotha Achotha of Kahu, and it revolutionized Achel, Kahu, and Horjon. Algonquin glass started being mass-produced into everyday items like tools, containers, utensils, weapons and armor for Achel soldiers, jewelry, decorative items, and as a building material. When not used as decoration or as trusses and supports, entire buildings were made out of nothing but glass bricks. Most often, glass bricks were used like normal clay bricks, but instead of mortar, the bricks were melted together with fires to bind them together into strong structures. This allowed Achel to create massive glass structures that could touch the sky. Every facet of everyone's life, from the richest noble to the poorest peasant, was greatly impacted and improved by Algonquin glass. The greatest of these glass wonders were created within Achel, specifically within its capital city, while the more mountainous locations still often used metal since it was more readily available and the mining industries were already set up and in place. Achel was also largely unwilling to share their glass technology with anybody. The people of Horjon still used glass tools, and large glass government structures were created in the capital, though they didn't have any major glassworks. And even though Kahu eagerly shared their initial glass dream with Achel, Achel was unwilling to reciprocate this trust and wouldn't share with them the recipe for Algonquin glass. The people of Kahu felt greatly betrayed by Achel's secrecy, but Kahu still bought Algonquin glass products from Achel. Kahu made many attempts on their own to create and reverse engineer Algonquin glass, and even though they got close, they were never successful. Kahu and Horjon may not have benefited as much from the Glassen Age, but by the end of the Glassen Age, over 300 years of glass mass production turned Achel into a city that was second to none. Glass spires stretched into the skies, glass soldiers policed the streets, every worker had glass picks, axes, shovels, and more. Most people, at least in the capital, lived in a glass building, everyone owned glass cups and pots, and so forth. Every facet of life became defined by glass, a feat that has never been repeated since. The invention of Algonquin glass completely redefined Achel, changed its culture and people's way of life, and was pivotal to their role in history.